Colleen, it is going to be so special to have Emily on the show. We talked about her accolades, we talked about who she is as a person, but it's going to be different when we get to hear from from Emily herself.
Look, you guys have to be patient with me. I keep hitting this freaking button. But yes, I'm so excited. I mean, Emily is just such a tremendous athlete. I'm incredibly honored that she's taken the time out of her busy schedule to be able to sit down and talk to us so we can learn more about her story and, figure out her Missouri roots and some of the accolades that she's been able to achieve, but also some of the struggles, getting the real, raw, authentically herself version of the story.
When you have athletes like Emily Thader who stay home, it means different to the fan base. I want to talk a little about the fan base before we get Emily on. How was the Mizzou fan base?
Mizzou fan base was incredible. People always ask me what my favorite moment was as a volleyball player there. And I always bring up when we played Florida. Granted, we lost in 5 sets, but that was one of the most incredible atmospheres I've ever got to play in. I think it was 8,000 fans. We had every single sports athlete in the community. My friends, my family was watching it from home. And to me, even though we lost that game, I felt like it was a win because we were so supported by people in the community, people at the zoo, and just people were saying just such great things to us.
Now, there's one thing that people who listen to Mizzou or watch Mizzou on TV, there's this older man and his wife who hold up this big Mizzou Tigers sign. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I do.
He's always in the top. Okay, there's this older man and his wife. They're season ticket holders. I'm forgetting their names.
I know who you're talking about, but their name has escaped me. Forever.
And they're holding up these big "Go Tigers" signs. It's just so cute. It's just so cute. It's just older couple that just are there at every single Mizzou Tigers game, no matter what, for the volleyball team. It's so special. Oh.
But it's special because I mean, even when we would hand out season tickets to the season ticket holders at their houses, and that was a part of Dawn's special. We do specialized treatment to treat people well, and they'll be able to show that love in return. And I thought, what a great opportunity then to go see them in person. But look, forget what I'm saying. We are joined by the woman of the hour. Hey, Emily,
Hey.
today.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, it's so good to see you, Emily. We have been very, very excited, looking forward for you coming on. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I'm so happy to do this. Thank you guys for the opportunity and just getting to sit down and chat with you guys. It's awesome.
Of course. And for those that don't know Emily, she is a Springfield, Missouri native who's excelled at pretty much every single level of volleyball. She started off at the University of Missouri, finishing fourth player in program history to reach 400. She went on after that to play 7 professional seasons in Germany and France, winning a French league title and reaching a CEV semifinal in 2025. Emily was earned the ability to call the U.S. national team and brought home gold at the Pan American Cup Final 6. So this is a legend, a GOAT in the making as she continues her volleyball career. So please welcome Emily Thader.
Wow, what an intro, Colleen. Thank you so much. That's so nice.
Well, look, I don't want to start off with the serious questions just yet. I have a personal thing. This past weekend, I was in Springfield, Missouri at a place called Lambert's. Have you ever been and have you caught the rolls that they throw?
Of course I've been to Lambert's, and yes, I caught the rolls. Absolutely. Sundays after church, lines are out the door. I mean, that's kind of a routine. But yeah, I've definitely been to Lambert's like post game or post church on Sunday. So yeah, love Lambert's. It's definitely a local legend. It's so funny you were there. I saw that on your Instagram story. I was like, no way she's there. Like, what? Like, what a small world. Did you like it? I mean, did you catch a roll?
Was delicious. I caught a roll. And Aaron, if you aren't
Yeah, so what food is here? I've never been here before. Explain it to me.
I'm going to be honest with you. That is the most authentically soul, Southern, family style cooking environment.
In Springfield, Missouri? In Springfield, Missouri for soul. Okay.
Get this. The kicker is when you walk in, you get the rolls that everybody anticipates before you eat a good meal.
Yeah.
You catch them. So the person is there rolling around a cart of rolls, throwing them at you.
They just kind of like yell at you, and like you don't even have to really yell because you like smell them and you see them coming, and everybody's got eyes on the roll guy, and you just like put your hand up, and then they're just looking for hands, and they just like throw them in the hands,
And
It's kind of wild, but it's they're really good rolls too.
they're amazing. And
That's
they'll
sick.
walk around with some fixings like, fried okra. I think they were walking around, you can put molasses.
This is like soul. This is like
Oh,
really
new,
soul food.
new side
Oh
question.
my goodness. Like okra, this is like real soul food. That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they have like a chicken platter thing on
My
Sundays.
goodness.
Like it's like, you know,
But I mean, that just speaks of the beauty of like Missouri in general. And I know, Emily, you're from out there. What a family environment. What was it like growing up in Springfield for you?
I mean, just as you can see when you visit, it's not a big place. It's by no means a big city or, a bustling, right, metropolis. It's a smaller place. A lot of nice people, slower pace of living. It's not the most like diverse place in the world. And so, for me coming from Springfield, it was super important, to get out and like see the world and go to bigger places and just see there's a big world outside of it. But nice people and yeah, like just little traditions like that, like local legends like Lambert's and I was outside all the time, like fishing and canoeing, kayaking, float trips, camping, going on walks or like hikes, at different times of the year. We've got like a theme park down there called Silver Dollar City, so we
I've
always had
seen
season
this
passes.
before. I've seen this before. Silver Dollar City. What's
Yeah.
your favorite roller coaster there?
Ooh, Wildfire probably. I remember when Wildfire like came out and it was really a good one. Everyone was super psyched about it. And then, down there's also lakes. Like we had a boat growing up, on Table Rock Lake, so I was outside all the time, always on the water, all summer. And then like Kanakuk camps. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Kanakuk. It's a Christian based summer camp. And so, those are always like the best weeks of my year, getting to go to Kanakuk and just being outside and I don't know, just like wholesome kind of vibes, I guess, down there. Definitely, for
Well, it
sure.
sounds like you were very active growing up. I mean, you got fishing, you got going to these
Yeah.
camps. How did you get your introduction into volleyball?
I mean, I think it's about as whatever as anyone would expect. I was very tall. I was super, super tall as a kid, but I was also like, I was really fortunate. I was athletic. I was fast. I could move. Like I wasn't just some cumbersome, tall, gangly child. Like I had this athletic gift. And so, I played basketball. I played track, I ran track and field. I played volleyball. I was in soccer. I wasn't very good at soccer. T-ball, just anything I could get my hands on. Like I was doing, active outside or in any type of sport capacity, just like my older brother, who was also very athletic. So followed in his footsteps and my friends played volleyball. So I was like, Mom, can I go, to volleyball and play with my friends? And I just got involved at like the middle school level, went to Carver Middle School and yeah, like got involved with it there. And then I think once I realized I didn't have to like block out and like fight for rebounds and like touch other people,
Oh,
like
trust
I was like,
me,
ooh,
I
volleyball, this could be for me, And then conveniently it's good to be tall in that sport. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
100%. And I think you're really touching on a really good message here when you say, you wanted to play volleyball because your friends were kind of playing it. At that age, I mean, we're all trying to do things that our friends are doing so that we can get that community feel. But also, I think the other aspect is mentorship is so important. Like, how do you, one, start off a sport by being engaged in it because maybe your friends are playing it or maybe it's popular at the time, but how do you stay in it? Like, did you have some club coaches or just coaches in general or mentors early on who believed in you?
Yeah, I did. I was fortunate. Again, like Springfield is this kind of funny little place where it is small, but there's kind of like these cool pockets or like interesting people are from there or, Fortune 500 companies are from these places, and or a place like Springfield, you wouldn't think it. And so funny enough, like there were, really great coaches and really great volleyball like mentors that came, through Springfield for me and they encouraged me and they saw like the ability at a young age, and there's a lot that come into my mind, but I think the one that really kind of saw that first opportunity for me was a woman named Trish Knight. She is from Missouri, born and raised in the middle of the state, actually a little bit closer to Columbia. She was from I don't even know where, somewhere on the river. She was like me, like grew up in the country, you know what I mean? Like, but she also got the chance to like play at a high level and then coach, high level international players at Missouri State, West Plains. And so it's a JUCO, very successful JUCO program. And she was my club coach in Springfield Juniors Club Volleyball. And she saw me, as this tall kid who could move, who was fast. And she was like, wait a minute, I think you might be, for this
Right,
sport. And
one
then
of those
she was
ones, yeah.
right, right, right. And well, she was tough and, old school, definitely put us all in our place as young kids. She wasn't really a part of the newer age of coaching where it's a lot of positive reinforcement and a lot of nice stuff. She would, give it to us if we weren't playing well or if we were giving, lower effort. And I just really appreciate that now that I'm older. When, you're younger, that's you want the nice coaches, but like it's not always like that. It's not, life isn't always easy. Sometimes you need somebody to get on you and Trish was that person. And but she also saw the potential. So she would be definitely somebody that I accredit um, where I'm at today. She saw the vision.
Now, speaking of your younger days, did you ever look at Mizzou and think, I want to be there one day?
Oh, I mean, after I took my visit and like found out kind of the other girls that had already committed to come into Mizzou as with my class, there were girls from coming in, two girls coming in from Honolulu. There was a girl coming in from Kansas City. There was me, girl from Austin, Texas, St. Louis. I mean, we just had this like awesome mix of girls from all over the country with all these different looks. And I think the idea to represent my state was like a really interesting thing that I hadn't thought of. I mean, coming from Springfield, I have to admit, I was unfamiliar with Mizzou. The schools that Springfield more focuses on, I don't know why, but it's Missouri State, which is the local university, and then we've got Arkansas and we've got OU, kind of a little bit more. That's just like the focus, even at times Kansas, because Springfield loves basketball. And so KU is like this great basketball school. And again, I don't know why. I have to say, like growing up, I didn't know much about Mizzou, didn't know about Columbia. I hardly even knew like the school colors. I just knew that they were interested. And so went up to Columbia for the first time. I was probably about, I don't know, 14, 15, however old I was. And was like, wait a minute, this place is nice. The staff is great. These girls are great. Like, if I'm not far from home, like, how did I not know more about this program? And then I started to learn the amazing players that had come through the program. Team USA caliber setters. Amazing foreign, hitters and attackers, like girls coming from China or South America. And I was just like kind of really floored. Like I didn't even know Columbia could pull these types of players. And they did. They had this great talent. So once I found all that out and also put together who my freshman class could be, I was like, it was a no-brainer. And it was absolutely the place that I needed to be in for sure.
So fast forward, you come to Mizzou. What do you think the biggest jump was? Like, that welcome to college moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm in the SEC. I'm playing. Like, what's the biggest difference in your game or things that you saw?
Totally. No, I think the intensity. I felt the intensity from day one from our senior leadership, which at the time was Molly Krecklow Taylor now, who was also one of the best setters in the world at one time and went on to play in incredible club teams and was very successful there and was with Team USA, represented Team USA at the highest levels on international tournaments. So that was my first setter as a freshman, coming into college. And then Lisa Henning and those women were all Americans. They led our team that first year, and I just think the biggest discipline jump was definitely blocking. The ball is moving faster. The hitters are bigger. They're more physical, and they are getting on top of the ball faster. So you have to respond, and it's really a sink or swim. I mean, you either get it or you don't. And as a freshman, I was fortunate enough to have some time to get warmed up and to find my way, and I was able to play as a freshman. But the tempo and the speed is a massive difference, and I just happened to come into a team with that was amazing, and now we had this great setter and this great team culture, but we had six freshmen. I was part of a class with six girls, and just to make an impact as a freshman and to win an SEC championship the year after Mizzou had transitioned to the SEC is something I'm super proud of, and that holds a lot of weight now. That two SEC rings is nothing to shy away from, and I'm super proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just touching on like the tip of the iceberg in terms of your success and success that your team was able to accomplish during that time. But I think what gets lost in translation when you're talking with athletes sometimes is that we're too focused on the good parts of it when there are some bads, and it's those good and bad days that really develop your story as a whole. So, do you have any moments of adversity or doubt or, breakthroughs during your time that you would, feel comfortable enough to talk about? Because that is key.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you said it beautifully. No one really likes to talk about those moments, but everybody has those moments, and it's a matter of if you want to share it or let the world know. And there's one that comes to mind. I was a freshman, and of course, as I spoke on earlier, a highly talented Mizzou team. I was just getting into things. It was one of our first games, and we were on the road at Arkansas. And so Arkansas is a place that I have a lot of family down there in the Fayetteville, Bentonville area. That's close to my family. I had all my family members in the stand. It's much closer to Springfield than Columbia. But so, and of course, my family down in Arkansas. So yeah, like first game, road game, I did not have a great game and I got subbed. And it was the first time really in my life, right? Like as a tall, athletic kid, I didn't come out of games. Like I never came out. And the first time being in front of all my friends, all my family, and in front of a coach and a team that heavily recruited me in high school, that really stung and that really stuck with me. And I just, I was a kid, I was 18 years old and it sucked, but I just remember that first feeling, that first taste of real like fire and passion to fix it and never have that feeling again. And I was highly, highly motivated the next day in practice. And that it didn't, I mean, again, and it just, you get comfortable with that feeling. And I'm not to say I never got subbed out again. Like I absolutely did. We had a very talented team at Mizzou, but that first one really stuck with me and just kind of helped set the tone of, how you respond in those moments. Do you pout and do you cry and do you get mad at the coach and mad at the situation? Or do you go into practice the next day and make them wonder why they ever took you out? So like I think that really set a tone for me moving forward. And then there's just countless moments, I hate to say it, countless moments of like, bad days, struggles, injuries, loneliness, the things that nobody really likes to talk about within sport. You make sacrifices to be at this level. And as a college athlete, sacrifice is like the name of the game. When you sign your name on that document,
Yeah.
you are signing your life away to your new employer, the university of whatever. And, you do everything with them in mind rather than yourself. And it's never about any more like fun parties or social lives or dating or, whatever. It's about how can I be the best volleyball player and get a degree and, you know, somehow make it out of this alive, with like a good understanding of myself and of life. And I was more fortunate to do that. And I think Mizzou really, as I'm sure you could speak on Colleen, the people at that university it's one of a kind. I don't really know how Mizzou just like is this little magnet of fantastic people and like really good, interesting, diverse, intelligent, kind people. And like I got to hang out with those people every day and like pursue goals and dreams with those people. So I don't know. I think there was a funny moment too. My team was so smart and like going, through high school, I was probably more of a jock, I was smart enough, like I was good at enough stuff, but like I really just wanted to play sports and like go to PE class and like whatever. And I get to Mizzou and I've got an accountancy major, I've got a nursing major, I've got a journalism school major, I've got another finance major, I think I had a biology major doing our prerequisites to maybe study medicine one day. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Like I thought we were here to play volleyball, but these girls are so smart and this team GPA is like out of this world. And so I was like, okay, I got to get my act together and I got to start, pursuing something academically.
Well, iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was our team. I mean, I think at one point we had like a team cumulative like 377 GPA in the spring, which is like unreal. Like it's insane. And
To
like
your
so
credit, though, you were a Dean's List member many times in the SEC.
yeah, I was. Thank you. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
was um
she was smart though. She was smart. Like she made the Dean's
I
List.
I found my way. I found my way. I was again like I embraced the academic support that Mizzou offered, study hall and tutors. I mean, I didn't really want to do it, but I embraced it because I knew that was how I was going to succeed, going for a really tough degree like the Missouri Journalism School degree. And I somehow walked away as a journalism school graduate, and I'm super, super proud of that. Almost, equally as proud as my SEC championships for sure.
Look, I feel like you just said so many philosophical takes that we could clip and then just upload those side by side. But I think the overarching message here is that you are a better woman walking out, with that student athlete background than you were coming in. I mean, I can share many times in some of the stories you just shared about how the student athlete experience helps you to handle hard better. It's not that life will not get easier after you're done being a collegiate athlete. No, there's always going to be tough things life is going to throw at you that you're going to have to learn to deal with. And some of those experiences that you get as a collegiate athlete carry with you even later on in your life. Now, you in particular decided to continue playing as a professional athlete, and I'm sure that there are still times that you're facing very tough or similar circumstances. Maybe you don't have to worry about class so much, but what has that transition been like for you?
Man, again, at the risk of sounding kind of whatever negative, it was a very lonely transition. I think Mizzou set me up for success, and then you got to go on and find your own way, and like, I would say that my first couple of years overseas, it was difficult. It was challenging. It was beautiful. I'm so proud of myself for not giving up and not giving in to what many people would have kind of said, okay, I get it. You quit after a year like that. Yeah, girl, I understand. Like, congrats on a great career, but that's too much, and somehow, some way, I didn't give in and I didn't quit. And that's the only reason I'm here talking with you all today is because I stuck with it. But that transition is isolating and it's very hard. And um, gosh, it's just a test of your character. And so I think I'm really proud to say that I made it, and now I'm here, getting to play on American soil. And you always heard, I don't know if you ever heard the rumblings and the whisperings of, the USA is going to have a league one day. We're going to have a league. And I just remember I
Yeah.
was overseas at the time. I was like, yeah, okay, maybe not in my lifetime, but like I'll believe it when I see it. And then, all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh wait, it's here. And like I'm somehow still playing. Is this real? And then sure enough, I get a call. I'm over in France, and they were interested in having me come on and play in the States. And I was just like, first of all, honored, and second of all, it was a no-brainer. Of course I want to play in the inaugural season for Love and play in my home country when I didn't even know that was a thing. You could have told me that my first couple years of pro, I would have laughed and been like, yeah, sure. No way. But um here I am.
Look, I think that's beautiful for a number of reasons. I was playing overseas as well earlier. I mean, this time last year, and it is such an incredibly difficult journey that I think a lot of people don't really understand, especially outside looking in or young women that are looking to play next, that are maybe playing in college right now. I think me going into it, I kind of had an expectation that this is going to be a summer abroad situation,
Mm.
and I'm going to find my European romance and
Mm.
dance off. And I
Yeah.
think that I was humbled very, very quickly. But I always tell people that even though that journey did not align with where I wanted to go in life, it taught me so much about myself and really helped me root in my purpose. It's part of the reason why I asked you to be able to join me today, because I understand that the experiences that athletics sets you up for are like tenfold. I could go on and on for hours about the benefits that I got from it and how it helped me to be the woman that I am today. But that does not go without saying it's incredibly difficult, and you have to learn to navigate those waters, but you do learn to do it. And I'm very happy that one, you stuck with it, two, that you've been able to see the fruits of your labors in that regard. So what a beautiful testimony there. Does it feel surreal to think a girl from Springfield, Missouri is now playing professional around the world and especially in our home country?
Oh, absolutely. I think, man, I mean, even going to Mizzou, and that first time when you look up in the crowd and there's thousands of people there, and it's kind of like, wait, what? Like, what are we talking about? But then that becomes routine, as you also learned in your collegiate, in your time in college volleyball, and then you go overseas and you pray and you work and you hope to one day make it to this bigger stage, and then all of a sudden you're playing in Istanbul, in a European Cup game against Turkish Airlines, and you win, and it's insane, and and then you go and then you're in the Love inaugural season championship match against a fantastic team from Austin. And it's just like you just constantly, the bar keeps getting higher for me and higher. But then I don't always take the time to really reflect and be like, just think where you started, man. Like I was playing volleyball in churches and in elementary school gyms, in Springfield, and we were always in a different gym. We were trying to find gym space, and we were paying cash for extra volleyball lessons whenever I was a kid to the local legend Lori Endicott, who was a former, Team USA Olympic setter, who somehow, some way lives in Springfield, Missouri, and she's from, I think Willard is her hometown, which is a little town outside of Springfield. So that's where I started, and I just think that if I really meditate on that and spend any time thinking about that and what I get to do now, and the fact that I get to have these conversations with you guys about it, I think it's just like it's super humbling, and it's like it's almost too much, it's almost too much to think about. Like, wow, this is real. Like this is your life. It's crazy.
Hearing that, I know Aaron and I were speaking a little bit earlier about just like the growth of women's volleyball in
Yeah.
general. And I brought up how this past December, the national championship was actually in Kansas City. So in our great state, just seeing the growth of women's volleyball in particular, especially, I mean, across the nation, but especially in the state of Missouri. I mean, it's just, it honestly is so beautiful to be able to
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
that progression, because I, like you, like growing up, if I, even when I wanted to come home to Columbia, South Carolina, which is the capital, right?
Right.
Still a pretty big and vibrant city. There's really no places to train. And I would come home and just worry about my diet because I could not go walk in a gym to go train. And so it excites me that 1.7 million people tapped in to view it, because that means that's going to open the door for more opportunities for young women to not only grow athletically, but eventually hopefully be in your shoes or my shoes or anyone else, because of those opportunities that have been created for them. And, thinking about the whole concept of this show was really to empower the next generation of women. If you kind of had a message that either maybe you want to tell yourself when you were younger, or maybe that you would tell a young woman starting out, and maybe she doesn't have to be a volleyball player, maybe just wants to pursue sports in general, what would you share with her?
Oh man, so many things. I think the one that comes to my mind definitely is I think that there's a million different ways to get where you're trying to go. And for me, my road was longer. I had a longer journey. I had a lonelier path, right? Not to say that I did it alone. I certainly did not do this alone. But it did not. I was not an overnight success, or whatever, some star from the beginning. I had to work. I had to grind. I had to take longer and take more time, more coaching, more reps, more time in the weight room, all of it, to finally get where I'm going. But I think, what's meant to be for you, like you'll get there. Ultimately, you'll find your way. And I think like that's what I would probably just say to anybody who's, any young girl or young boy who maybe is not who's from a Columbia, South Carolina, where certain opportunities in certain sports might not be, like available, or somebody like me, from Springfield, to where we really have to kind of scrap and fight to be like, yeah, we're relevant too. We're smaller. There's not a ton going on down here, but like we've got some pretty like, good people, some good stuff going on. So I just think like stay the course and don't shy away from like how long it would take you versus somebody else. No two journeys are the same. Like really own that and embrace that, because there would have been a day I would have given my left arm to be an All-American, you know what I mean, volleyball player. But like that wasn't meant for me. I wasn't supposed to be. I was never an All-American. And like there are times that like in certain circles, I don't like to talk about that. I don't like to like own that, right? Because I wanted it so bad and I didn't get it. And that's okay, because I got all these other incredible things out of the University of Missouri and Mizzou and all those people, those friends, my degree, and even though I don't have an All-American tag, I still made it into the Team USA gym. I'm still here with love, playing and representing Mizzou and Missouri and myself at the highest levels. So, like, don't shy away from parts of yourself that are slower developing than maybe the person next to you.
Emily, it's so special that you're on here with us. It really is an honor for us to speak with you and be one of our initial guests on the show. Now, time for Aaron's big three questions. The final statement that you're going to make on Play Her Story. So there's going to be a fun question, a sports question, and an advice for young athletes question. Okay, you ready?
I think so,
All
yeah.
right. So first one, the fun question. 2013 or 2016 SC Championship. Which one is more meaningful for you and why?
Oh,
Good one.
16.
Coming out swinging. Coming out swinging.
I think 16. I mean,
Why?
just 2013, I think it was a whirlwind. I think I really just like walked into the Mizzou campus and we just la la la, let's go sweep Florida. Okay, la la la, we sweep everybody. Like it was so easy. And then of course we ran into a fantastic Purdue team. They knocked us out of the tournament. Ugh, but it's okay. Like it was my freshman year, right? We'll run this back. We'll do this all over again. Sophomore year, horrible year. Junior year, we're building, we're getting back to it. And then senior year, it's just this culmination of just grit and grind and time and failure, and owning that failure. And then we get it back in 2016 and we win that again. And the league was super competitive. I think we won some games that maybe people didn't think we would. And I just think that that underdog spirit, I think that a lot of people at Mizzou and a lot of people in the Midwest that really that really resonates with them is being overlooked, being passed over, and it feels all the better whenever you earn it anyway. So,
That's special. All right. Second question. Now, for your sports question, the Kreklo family. They are synonymous with Mizzou volleyball, and you were able to play under the Kreklo family. Talk a little bit about that and how was your sports journey when you got here to Mizzou and played under the Kreklos?
oh yeah, I mean, I love to brag on Wayne, Wayne Kreklo. I think my favorite little thing about Wayne is he's a history kind of guy. I mean, just aside from being like a great, person, volleyball coach, dad, all those things, he loves history, and so I also kind of like history. I think that me and him had that in common. But Wayne Kreklo is like, I think he has a NBA championship ring with the Boston Celtics when he played with Larry Bird. Are you kidding me? Like, who has a ring with Larry Bird?
I
Like, that's
found that out. I
insane.
was in shock.
Yeah.
I was like, there is no way.
What, like, Wayne, what are you talking about, dude? Like, that's insane. And so I love that little tidbit about him. But Wayne and Susan Kreklo brought me to a place where I have met my best friends, the people that will walk with me through life in my biggest moments, my triumphs, my setbacks. Those are the people that they brought me to at Mizzou Volleyball. So for that, I'm forever grateful. And again, like just giving me a chance to play volleyball at a collegiate level, at a fantastic school in a fantastic conference. I mean, I don't know. It's given me everything. So like I owe them a lot, definitely.
Special. Man, the Kreklos legends. I didn't even know that Larry Bird story. Wow, that was really cool. Okay.
Larry Bird,
Wow.
crazy.
Final question for you. We really appreciate you coming on, Emily. So let's go time machine. Emily Thader is going to go talk to young athletes. What is that advice? One piece of advice that you can give a young volleyball player or just an athlete in general that you yourself, present day, would give them.
Man, it's gonna be boring, I guess, but don't specialize. Don't specialize in your sport. Play as many sports as you can. Run track and field, do high jump, do triple jump, play volleyball, play soccer, do dance class. You know what I mean? Like just be active and just find all the different ways that your body can move. And I think that was the probably the funnest part for me growing up is having this tall, kind of skinny frame and getting to move my body in all these different ways and find the way that was best for me. And it turned out that was volleyball. And it's probably the advice I would give. And also just I don't know, embrace embrace the failure, embrace when you miss a block or you hit a ball out or you serve a ball out, because that's the only way and that's the fastest way to actually get better is by screwing it up and not wanting to sit with that and wanting to learn how you're going to fix it. And like, that's how you get better. And I don't know. I think that's like taking me where I'm at, is embracing that.
Wow,
Well,
that's special.
Thank you so much, Emily, for being able to join us today. I mean, this is what it's
Yeah.
all about. Not only did we get to learn a little bit more about your story, your journey, how you got to the person that you are today, but
Mhm.
also how to be able to empower the next generation of young women to be encouraged to play sports and figure out their niche. I mean,
Yeah.
my goal with this isn't to try and make every single girl a high profile athlete or say you have to be D1 or nothing.
Right.
Able to say sports can help you unlock parts of yourself that by the time you're our age, that you have a good foundation on who you are and where you're supposed to be. So thank you so much, Emily, for joining us today. And I'm so glad that you were blessed us with your presence.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for the opportunity just to chat and like, yeah, just like talk about this stuff. I can talk about Mizzou all the time to anyone who'll listen. I'm very proud of that university and just thanks for the opportunity to like, I don't know, be a part of what you guys are creating. It's awesome. So thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.